Kolinsky Sable brushes are often recognised as being some of the finest brushes that you can get for model making, especially when it comes to detail work. But can a synthetic brush, one that is advertised as being vegan friendly, can it really be as good as the vaunted and admired Kolinsky Sable? Well, I didn't think so either. But as it happens, a couple of days ago I was sitting down in the garden with the dogs, a cup of tea in hand, and flicking through some brush catalogues. As you do. Or is that just me? And then I came across the Red Dot collection by Rosemary Co. And they were saying that they have designed a 100% synthetic fibre with all the qualities of natural hair to directly replicate the sable. That can't be right, can it? I've got to check this out. So I went onto their website and I bought a few. Woohoo! Right, so let's have a look at this. So this is how it comes in the post. You've got my address and all the shipping information on the reverse. So let's quickly grab a hobby knife. Rosemary Co, the finest quality handmade artist brushes. That's nice. Okay, so opening this up. A sticker. Gotta love a sticker. And a nice little thank you on the box. Nice little touch. First of all, got that'll be the packing list and shipping information. I'll sort that out later. So the packaging is quite simple and effective. The brushes seem to have arrived in really good condition. There's no damage at all. Now 3 of these are from the Red Dot collection. One of them is another sable brush, an additional Series 33 for a size that I didn't have yet. So a little plastic bag holding all the brushes, I guess to stop them rolling around in transit. But that little bit of plastic, that is only plastic in the entire packaging. The rest of it straight into recycling. So if you're trying to cut down on single-use plastics, that's quite a nice touch. Okay, so these are the brushes. They all seem to be in great condition. Now this is the Series 33 one that I mentioned before. So this is also a nice control measure as well. So let's have a look at these red dots. This is the smallest brush I got, and it's a direct one-to-one comparison against the Series 33 Sable. Now looking at them side by side, the handle on the red dot is slightly more slender than the one on the Series 33 Kolinsky Sable. Now, but interestingly, looking at some of the other sizes, they tend to vary a little bit in the diameter in the brush. The brushes look near identical, exactly the same, really razor sharp point. They even look kind of the same colour. Now I did actually email Rosemary Co with a couple of questions before I bought these brushes, and they came back with the answers within a day or so. So for example, I was asking, are they actually vegan friendly? And they came back with, yeah, they source all of their components really carefully. They said that it is 100% vegan friendly. But that also means that if you are in part of the world that has issues with importing sable hair, for example, then that shouldn't be an issue. So what about the price? The red dot pointed rounds, which these ones are, well, this one is currently £2.45, which is about $2.90 US per brush. So as always, if you want to check out the most up-to-date prices and the cost of shipping to wherever you are in the world, then I've put a link down in the description for you if you want it. And I hope it helps. Oh yeah, one thing before I forget. Now, if you are enjoying the video so far, if you find it useful, then have a play with some of these buttons down here. Like that like button, that's a really good one. And that subscribe button, that one's even better. Now it's a little thing, but it really helps me out and it really helps the channel to grow and to reach new people. So, a little thing, but if you could, that'd be awesome. Thank you. Anyway, next bit. Now, it's quite standard for artist brushes, especially ones that come through the post, to have the bristles covered in a fine layer of wax to try and maintain the shape from between when they are made through to when it hits your painting desk. But to clear this out, all you need to do is give it a good swish in some clean water, and the brush is then ready to go. So first thing, comparing these two brushes, remember, one of them is the finest Kolinsky Sable, and the second is the new synthetic red dot. And the feel of the bristle is pretty much identical. Now that snap, or the way that the bristles snap back into position, into that shape that you want. Initially, I can't see a lot of difference, to be honest. So at the moment, the feel between the two is very similar. Okay. Let's try this with some paint. So when I emailed the Rosemary Co customer services before I bought these brushes, and I was asking them about these brushes, the one thing they did say is that the Series 33 brush, the Kolinsky Sable brush, will hold about 20% more liquid than the red dot. But what does it actually look like in reality? So let's try it with some paint. So this is the Gunship Green from the Vallejo Model Air range. So this is quite a thin paint, it's quite fluid and runny, so this will be quite a nice test. So let's start off with the Series 33. So I'm going to get a good amount of paint on there, and starting with a very fine line, and gradually increasing the pressure to splay the bristles out a little bit for a thicker line, and let's see how far this paint goes. Okay, so that's quite respectable. So I wonder how that's going to compare against the red dot. Okay, that was better than I was expecting. Okay, so let's very quickly throw some paint on a model I had lying around. It's behaving quite nicely. Now, of course, this is just the unboxing and the initial impressions, but initial impressions are really good, and I'm going to put these through their paces over the next few months, and I'll let you know how I get on. But in the meantime, if you liked that, found that useful, please bash that like button and share it across your social media. And I'll see you for the next project.